Well, either we are early or Dan Myers and Charles are late.
Or maybe they're just stalling for a grand entrance, knowing my father.
No, I don't think so, Miriam. Judge Sawyer's the only one who makes a grand entrance around. Yeah, something's definitely fishy going on around here. It's not like Charles to be missing 2 days in a row. Mr. Myers?
Mr. Webster?
Mind telling us where your client is today?
Surprise.
What do you want?
Just a moment of your time. Thanks for inviting me in. You wouldn't happen to have any champagne on hand, would you?
No, you can get some on your way out.
And celebrate all alone? I want to share the happy occasion with you.
What occasion?
The wedding, Stacy. Haven't you heard the wonderful news, Stacy? Mother's getting married.
Really? Mom and Dad are getting married?
For good. The wedding bells are for her and Lee. I can tell you're thrilled.
Why should I believe you?
You will when you see the diamond she's wearing. Look, Stacy, if you don't believe me, talk to Mother.
I will.
Wonderful. We can help address her wedding invitations. I think Dave should get one, don't you?
I haven't forgotten the last farce you and Lee dreamed up. Mom was supposed to marry him then, too.
Well, the wait was certainly worth it. Maybe, Dave could give her away. Oh, on second thought, maybe we shouldn't invite him. I think the booze might be too tempting for him.
If you only knew what I'm tempted to do to you right now.
You wouldn't hurt a pregnant lady now, would you?
Just get out, Amber.
Before I tell you what else wonderful has happened, it's about Gil. Gil, me, and our baby.
Your own client is not enough for you to be concerned with, Mr. Webster?
Dan, don't get all bent out of shape. I just asked you where Charles was.
You'll find out soon enough.
When? Whenever you do?
Look, Mr. Webster, I don't think it's a good idea for the two of us to get too chummy here.
Yeah.
We wouldn't want to get...
Rise. Be seated.
All right, gentlemen, let's continue on where... Mr. Myers, it seems as if you owe this court another explanation. The petitioner is not present again.
That's true, Your Honor, he is not.
Well, I'm waiting.
Well, sir, the circumstances of his absence today are exactly the same as they were yesterday.
The same circumstances that this court considered inappropriate for 1 day's absence, let alone 2? Mr. Webster?
Yes, Your Honor?
A postponement is in order. Would you care to make such a motion?
Your Honor, if I could just have a second to confer with my client, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, he's given us an opportunity to postpone this thing.
No, let's just get it over with.
Okay. Here we go. Your Honor, we'd just like to continue with the proceedings.
Motion to waive postponement granted. Mr. Myers, you may proceed. I believe you have a summation to offer.
Indeed I do, Your Honor. Thank you. I should like to begin by reminding the court of the facts of this case, the reasons behind those facts, and the logic which we trust will arise from the resolution. Now, the petitioner has charged the respondent with incompetence, not suitable to raise her son, Eric Mason. Now, the reasons behind this charge, a charge brought by Mrs. Mason's own father, have already been very clearly brought out during this proceeding. The fact is, Mrs. Mason was proved to have been addicted to both alcohol and barbiturates. And as a result of this addiction, she was hospitalized. During her hospitalization, she was diagnosed as an acute schizophrenic. And during this time, she also attempted to take her own life with an overdose of barbiturates. But, Your Honor, we really don't even need to dwell on Mrs. Mason's psychiatric history. All we really need to do is look at the way that Mrs. Mason is raising her son right now. With no income, living off the hospitality of a friend, living, in fact, in the same house from which she was kidnapped not very long ago, in surroundings that neither she nor her young boy, Eric, are accustomed to. And all the while, keeping Eric away from his grandfather, a man who loves the boy and who has shown himself to be willing and able to provide for the young son. And her reason? Not for the benefit of Eric Mason, but because she believes that these actions will somehow make her feel more like an adult.
You remember I told you Gil popped the big question too, don't you? I thought you did. Well, I said yes.
What?
There'll be 2 weddings in the family, Stacy. Mother's and mine. Aren't you going to congratulate me?
But why? You don't want him or his child.
How do you know?
Because I know you. You don't know the meaning of love. You don't know how to love anyone. Anyone but yourself.
You know, you've been calling me a liar ever since I walked in here.
Because that's exactly what you are. And I can think of a few other names that fit.
Like Mrs. Gil Prescott?
If Gil marries you, it's only because
It's over between you 2 forever. You know, you and your misfit father are one of a kind. You just don't know when to call it quits.
I'll tell you what's over. Any feeling I ever had for you as my sister.
I'm crushed. I was going to ask you to be my maid of honor. Why not? It'll be for Gil, too. Oh, did I tell you that Gil has his old key to my place again?
In closing, Your Honor, I would just like to say that if Miriam Mason wishes to continue her present lifestyle, then that's fine. We are not here to deny her that right. We only ask that young Eric Mason not be subjected to the same way of life. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Webster?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready. Your Honor, what we are involved in here is a battle. That's exactly what it is. It's a battle over a child between 2 people who claim to love him. The sad part is, no matter who wins, the child suffers because he knows he's the reason for the fight between 2 people he loves. Now, Charles Carpenter, the absent Charles Carpenter, is a very wealthy man. He would have this court believe that he is better qualified to be a parent to young Eric Mason than the boy's own natural mother. He promises those things which are most important to him: material wealth, advantage, and most important to Charles Carpenter. He'll teach Eric how to win and wield power. Now, Miriam Carpenter Mason, on the other hand, can only offer her son love. She can show him how to succeed without advantage, how to achieve a sense of fulfillment without holding power over anybody at all. She offers her son a life that is based on the fundamental principles of honesty, compassion, fortitude, and spiritual values which her father scorns. Your Honor, my colleague has taken great pains to point out the harrowing experiences that Miriam Mason has been through in the past year or so, and there's no doubt about it. There have been tremendous pressures on her. And yet, in spite of these experiences, she's managed to find the courage and inner strength to start building her life over again. It is this inner strength that allowed her to see that her father's influence on her son could be detrimental to him, could turn him into some kind of a materialistic, power-hungry young man who wouldn't stop at interfering with people and manipulating other people's lives. A man very much like himself. Yet, this is the woman whom the court is being asked to find incompetent and an unfit parent. The man who is asking her to be found unfit is a man whose wife divorced him because he appropriated her personal wealth for his personal use. This man has consorted with known underworld figures, albeit for legitimate dealings, in order to enrich himself. This is the man who comes accusing. Your Honor, I don't think the question should be whether or not Miriam Mason is a fit or an unfit parent. I think the question should be why Eric Mason should be subjected to the kind of traumas and perils that his mother was when she was a little girl at the hands of Charles Carpenter. Your Honor, I really believe that when you've taken everything into consideration that you've heard here in this hearing the last couple of days, that you'll find in favor of my client that you will award permanent custody of Eric Mason to his natural mother, the woman who seems best qualified to provide him with the values and guidance to become a young man that this town can be proud of.
Good evening, Miss Phillips.
Excuse me, Rose.
Stacy,
Just tell me if it's true, Mother.
if what is true?
It is. You're engaged to Lee.
Yes, I am. Who told you? I wanted to tell you myself. Did Amber tell you?
Yes, she couldn't wait.
Well, I hope you're going to be happy and wish me well.
How can I? You know I want you and Dad to get back together.
But that's impossible.
Because of you.
No, because of him. We are different people now, dear. We don't think alike and we don't want the same things in life.
And what do you want? A yes man as a husband? You who always encouraged individualism?
But not the self-righteous kind which your father is so free with these days.
That shouldn't stop you from loving him.
Oh, Stacy, there is so much more. I just can't go into it with you.
So you take the easy way out with Lee.
I take the only way out with Lee, and I build my future with him.
Your future as the great candidate's wife. One big sham, just like he is.
Stacy, I will thank you to have a little respect for Lee.
Sorry, I can't pretend.
I am not asking you to pretend. Lee loves me.
Lee loves you? And Dad doesn't? You're gonna stand here and tell me that?
Your father is in love with the notion that he can undo all this torment by being a husband to me again and a father to you and Amber.
He's always been a father to me.
Oh, yes? Even now when he's interfering in your life? After all, he's the one that suggested that Gil marry Amber. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I didn't mean to do that to you. Forgive me, I really didn't.
Amber's already told me that she's gonna marry Gil.
I know it hurts.
Why does it have to be Gil after all the men she's been involved with? The only man that I've ever wanted.
You will get over him. There will be others in your life.
Don't confuse me with Amber.
Oh, Stacy, look at you. My beautiful daughter. Gil did what was needed in your life. Brought out all this beauty. Now, if it has to be, let him go, sweetheart. Let him go.
I wish I could, Mother. Oh, God, I wish I could.
Here, take these. You'll be lost without them.
Just like I'd be if I had to go on without you.
Good. Here, we can go.
Limousine's out front. It's ready when we are.
So soon?
We don't want to be late.
Exactly what I've been telling him.
Well, did you remind him that we have to pick up Kate?
I haven't forgotten.
Good. Vicky's been working on some historical highlights of the state for you.
What?
Well, I know it sounds irrelevant.
Well, to say the least.
Yeah, but I'd rather you ramble on historical facts than on something you're not sure of.
They're very easy to remember, Mr. Crothers. Besides, you probably already know half of them.
Thank you for your confidence.
Well, I think we've gotten through the workday. Why don't you ladies call it a day?
Great. Andre, you and I can watch the debate on television.
Good idea.
Wait a minute, I thought you were going to the studio with us.
I thought so, too.
There's really no reason for you to.
Good luck. Excuse me. Well, I guess I'd better be getting along, too. Good luck, Mr. Carruthers.
Thank you.
The sooner that Andrea's out of sight and out of mind, the better it is.
Sebastian, don't overreact. I really need her assistance.
You have Kate now. Are you planning on letting her drop out of your hands again?
Oh, no way. I'm not that careless.
Does the petitioner have anything to add at this time?
No, Your Honor.
The respondent?
No, Your Honor, we do not have anything.
Well, gentlemen, the evidence that has been presented has been quite thorough. And any decision I make calls for the same type of thoroughness. I'm going to weigh all of the evidence that has been submitted. That, along with the conclusions from the home study being done, and the response from Eric Mason's guardian ad litem appointed by this court. If necessary, I will call the child before me for an interview, and I do stress, if necessary. Meantime, both parties will be informed as to when this court reconvenes.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but do you know at this time when that might be?
Approximately 2 weeks, Mr. Webster. It's going to take that kind of time to get all the reports in and reviewed.
I understand. Thank you, Your Honor.
All things considered, this court is adjourned.
All rise.
2 whole weeks?
Well, Mary, it's okay. It's not all that long. It'll pass real fast.
Enjoy them while you can. They just may be your last 2 weeks with Eric. Have a nice afternoon.
Mr. Wainwright, the last 10 minutes of the debate has been changed. It's now open to the press.
Oh, great. We'll certainly keep those questions coming, too.
Well, you might as well fire away. I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Over here, I guess we're all right to go. Yeah. Hugh, always a pleasure.
Well, glad you could make it, Lee.
Hello, Hugh.
Kate.
Now that we're all here, gentlemen, could we take our places?
Well, why not?
Just a minute. Go get him, love.
I will.
There are a couple of points I need to go over with.
Where are our seats?
Now, right over there. They have them marked.
I will go claim them officially.
Sebastian, seems that isn't the only thing she's claiming. Isn't that an engagement ring she's wearing?
Oh, Gene, it's no secret that Lee and Kate are engaged. I mean, you wrote the article, remember?
Now, wait a minute. What's going on here? Are you trying to pull the wool over our eyes again? Are you trying to tell me that Lee and Kate are probably going to tie the knot after all?
Well, I'll tell you what. I do owe you one. You keep that pad handy because tonight you're going to get the full story. I guarantee it.
That's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, I want to represent you.
Thank you, candidate Wainwright and candidate Carruthers, for being with us. We will now have questions from the press.
Mr. Carruthers.
Yes, Mr. Redlin, I believe, from the Chronicle.
Yes. Mr. Wainwright has emphasized a stable family life throughout the campaign and now the debate. What exactly are your views on that subject?
Well, I mean, this is where my honorable opponent, Mr. Wainwright, and I agree. He's a fine family man, and I respect him as that, and now I only hope that he can respect me as one, too. May I please take this opportunity to announce my wedding? Of course, the cat is already out of the bag that I'm engaged to Kate Barrett Phillips. Kate, will you join me up here? Come on, right up here. Kate has been a tremendous source of support for me through this entire campaign. Isn't she lovely? And no matter what happens for me in this election, Kate and I are going to get married.
Can you give us a date?
Well, yes, I can. Tomorrow at Kate's Lake Retreat.